Good day, everyone. Well, we are already celebrating the third Sunday of this great season of Easter. In today's gospel, this weekend's gospel, Jesus says to the apostles, "Peace be with you." But he says that not only to the apostles, but to each one of us. Our God certainly wants us to be a people at peace. But then in the gospel, Jesus asks, "Why are you so troubled? Why do questions arise in your hearts?" Well, these days, many are troubled. There are many questions in our hearts. There is little peace in the world. Truly, Jesus speaks to each one of us these days. It seems that each day we wake up to more violence in our city, more violence in our world. That 1-year-old baby that was killed last week, the shooting in Minnesota of another person of color. It is certainly a challenging time. And we all need to reflect on how each one of us deals with so much tumult in our world, especially at this time when, because of COVID, we've been so isolated. We need each other. We really can't do this alone. We need our faith communities. This past year, so many have not been able to gather to worship and support one another. We need to pose these questions that bother us as a community that struggles to be at peace, struggling to find the grace we need to have the peace that our God wants us to have. Let me share a story with you about a people who survived their troubles together. On January 12th of 2010, a massive and devastating earthquake struck just outside of Port-au-Prince, the capital city of Haiti. Countless buildings in the city collapsed, and over 100,000 lives were lost. The already shaky power grid was effectively destroyed, along with every other form of infrastructure. That night, with aftershocks rolling through the ground, almost all the residents of the city and the surrounding countryside had to stay outside their homes, torn with grief and fear. The residents of the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere found their world in ruins. An article on the National Public Radio summarized it this way: "For the Western Hemisphere's poorest country, the earthquake that hit Haiti in January 2010 was an especially cruel blow. Despite this," NPR stated, "it's hard to find a Haitian who doesn't profess a belief in a loving God." Isn't that remarkable? And the people sang. When you've lost everything, in fact, you still have a song. All over the hills of Haiti, those first terrible nights, under the starlit sky, the voices of the people of Haiti rose up in grief and lament, in prayer and hope. They really had something that we are on the verge of losing, this sense of community, and they still have it. As anyone who has visited a Haitian church or a family knows, that their community life is strong, a community that comes together to share the difficulties of life and not despair. This past year, we have been deprived of our singing, so many deprived of even coming together. But that is slowly changing, certainly due to the vaccines that so many have received. We desperately need this community to grapple with the questions we have and find the peace that only the grace of God can give us. Grace, so much grace comes through our gathering together, our singing and praying and worshiping together. We were not made to be alone. We are all connected. We all need our faith and the faith of the community to truly experience the peace that Christ wants us to have as we face these challenges in life. I so look forward to the days ahead when the churches can be filled again and the songs ring out as we support one another and find the peace our God so wishes for us as we see and experience so much violence in our lives. We need to come together to pray, to sing, to worship. This will happen as the weeks and months go ahead. Peace to all this week.